Hi, EDCI 708 crew. It's Dr. Palermo with your week 5 instructional video. Week 5 out of 15 in a semester means we're coming up on a third of the way through. And I hope that you're progressing well on creating your evidences for the course. I hope that any issues or concerns that you have about completing your PLCPB or the CDP, that you'll bring these to our face-to-face meeting this weekend in Charlotte, February 15th and 16th. I hope that you will spend some time celebrating St. Valentine's Day with your significant other on Friday, and then we'll be able to join me in Charlotte. This weekend, well, I have just loaded a draft weekend lesson plan in the week 2 folder, but in the weekend 2 folder, but we're going to have a couple of guest speakers. We're going to talk about formative assessment, rubrics, and linking lesson plans with assessments. I was going to say good news, bad news, but that's not quite true. It's good news and even better news, which is it's going to be a treasure hunt this week, a CNI treasure hunt. You need to go searching at your school and in your district to bring some items for learning and engaging us in learning activities this weekend. Specifically, please bring a lesson plan and an associated assessment. The assessment that goes with that lesson plan. It can be something that a teacher created or a district created lesson plan with the matched assessment. And you're to bring an assessment used by you at your site. Could that be the same assessment that you match with your lesson plan? Yeah, I think it could be. And then also a rubric in use by you or someone in your site or your district. We're going to do one activity with rubrics. We're going to do another with lesson plans and assessments, and a third applying the standards to that assessment. So you might want to bring a couple of assessments, perhaps think about one that's a benchmark, a high stakes assessment, or a course test for your assessment to think about with standards. So please bring those items to class on Saturday, at least one, and at least a hard copy. A hard copy. It says electronic, but the activity will go better if you bring a hard copy. Now, last time that we were together, we signed up to do some facilitation of the Earl text, and there's the schedule for you again. This time, we are going to talk about rubrics, and we're going to use look at a rubric that I have had for text facilitation in the past, and then create your own rubric for assessment of your presentations in weekend 3. So come with some thoughts about rubrics and what you want to present in 30 minutes on your chapter or chapters. So there you go. What about readings this week? You are to read 7, 8, 9 in Earl to keep up with that book. And again, you're going to be responsible for one or more of those chapters. You should be reading chapter 3 in the standards text. Now, this is timely. Fairness. Fairness is one of the 3 foundational standards in the new and revised standards manual. Reliability and validity and fairness. So we're going to hear from Dr. Anita Sanders, professor at Gardner-Webb, and she's going to share some of her thoughts about fairness in assessment. And I want you to think about how that ties back here to chapter 3 and see if you can cite issues and concerns from the standards that Dr. Sanders helps to uncover in her talk, or I hope she's going to engage you. We'll see. Tepper and Flynn, again, I'm still playing catch up on this wonderful little feedback book. You should be reading chapter 5 this week, which is how do we help teachers improve? I hope that ties into the work that you're doing with your CDP. Maybe not so much, but some great strategies in chapter 5 about how to help engage teachers in their learning and to set goals for them to improve as teachers. If you have a chance, watch this 8 or 10 minute TED Talk with Carol Dweck about about mindsets. And if you have a chance to preview this article, that is it's actually an interview with Carol Dweck. Great. If not, we will tackle that in an activity on the weekend as well. You should be reading Bailey and Jakizik. I'm going to do an activity with Bailey and Jakizik and ask you about where you're using some of those protocols or tools in your PLC work, and Hattie and Clark by the time we meet again in March. Now, because you can't say it enough times, enough different ways, here are some different explanations for types of reliability: iterator, test, retest, parallel forms, internal consistency, reliability. You should be able to at least speak conversantly about those various forms of reliability. Here is where standardized testing does come into play, and you start thinking about those various versions of the EOC, EOGs, or other standardized tests. How does that also inform your work looking for reliable discussion boards for this week? So you have readings in Tepper and Flynn, readings in Earl, and standards. But what I want you to do, please, is come prepared to discuss these items in class. Be ready to talk about applications from Tepper and Flynn. Be ready to discuss the standards and how that relates to fairness. I think we'll debrief Dr. Sanders' talk, and come prepared to talk about Dweck and mindsets, but we will watch the video in class. So if you don't have a chance to watch that prior to class, we'll do that in class. Big deal. Be well. Come to Charlotte with open minds and hearts for some fun learning. Do come, please, to be ready to talk about the status of your projects, your evidence work on the CDP and the PLC-PB, and bring questions that you have that I can help you in your work on the evidences. I think that's it for this week. Please write or call as usual if you have any questions. Some of you do, and know that you can reach me almost any hour of the day or night. Don't always have an answer for you, but I'll get you one quickly. And I look forward to seeing you this weekend in Charlotte. Thank you.